particularly liked his use of the word great. There were some other things on the list I gave him he didn't mention. I'll get an opportunity to go through those as the program goes on. He did email me, and when I got the email asking me to be the MC, I had to think about it, and after I thought about it, I thought somebody's giving him some real bad advice. Bad advice is what we're here to talk about. There's a lot of bad advice out there. To my way of thinking, November may go down as the month of bad advice. But in preparation for this, I consulted the experts on what really constitutes bad advice. You know about bad advice. Some advice is very obvious. You don't throw yourself in front of a train. You don't leap out windows, stuff like that. That's bad advice, but it's not considered the worst kind of advice. The worst kind of advice, and this comes from the experts, which, as you know, is the internet. I Googled, give me some examples of really bad advice we people give each other. And believe it or not, I got some responses. There were no real consensus, but the one that kept popping up, and this is very interesting to me, and you have to think about it before you see the ramifications of this advice. But it takes the form of really good advice. Sounds like really good advice, but it has some real possible bad effects. And that advice is simply two words. And I know you've used them before, but when you think about it, you can see the problem. But it's simply to be yourself. Because that really depends on yourself whether or not that's good advice. But that's the icebreaker I use for our introductions. What is some really bad advice that you have either received or given that turned out to be bad advice? I will point out before I do that. I'll point out. I mean, it's obvious to you that they've got me ensconced up here on the stage, and the reason for that's quite simple. They didn't want me to actually break a leg. So, with that, our first storyteller is Heather, and I had a problem with her with the icebreaker. She couldn't come up with one, so I gave her advice, and so she received this advice, and this advice turns out to be one of those that they recommend that you not give someone, and that is, all good things come to you if you just wait. Well, Heather waited, and she did not get an icebreaker. So with that, where did she go? I'm over there. I'm afraid you'll break a leg. Here we go. Thanks. That was very good. You need to give it up again. Anyone that believes that 21 days has never eaten chocolate, that's the other thing is that her 7-year-old is correct. They really don't care what old people do. Is Tucker. His bad advice is advice he gave his wife when she was in the midst of her hardest semester in law school. He advised her that smoking might help her relax. He is now cleaning up nicotine gum wrappers all over the house. Let's hear it for Tucker.
Yeah.
And I admit I did take a little bit of liberty with it. But it wasn't much. Our next storyteller is Brandy. Her answer to the question was the bad advice that she got was always respect your mother-in-law. There's some of us who understand that. Turns out that her mother-in-law tried to take over the raising of her children, so that turned out to be really bad advice. So with that, here's Randy. I can only say that things have changed. I recall getting a lot of advice, particularly from her father. And it didn't involve anything like living together. Our fourth storyteller is not here, so we'll take a 10-minute break, and we will find our storyteller, and anyone who wants to be considered, put your name and an email address in the basket over there, and we will have a drawing. It will help if you attach a $20 bill to the and we'll pick one. But with that, let's take a 10-minute break. She thinks it's so funny. By the way, she was gone today from home. But at the advice of a physical therapist, I ordered a yoga mat. From Amazon. The mat came in this morning. And I took it in the bedroom, and after a period of about 30-40 minutes of extreme exertion and effort, I got down on the mat. And let me tell you that it's a miracle that I'm here tonight. Our next storyteller is Traven. I posed the question to him, what is the best advice you've ever seen? It turned out to be really bad advice. And he said his advice was that he did not give advice. When you think about it, that's not a bad idea. But you don't have to deal with the consequences of bad advice. So with that, here's Trevin. Our next storyteller is Paul, who is certainly no stranger to Rabbit Box. His answer to the question involved his little brother. And anyone who has a little brother knows that little brothers are brought on to, just for abuse. But it appears that Paul and his little brother were climbing a pine tree, whereupon he advised his little brother that it would be great fun if they could get the tree to sway to and fro, which they did, whereupon his little brother was flung from the tree and hit the ground, scaring Paul. And he grabbed his little brother, carrying him to the house, and dropped him. It all ended well, though. His brother survived. So with that, did I take too much liberty with that story?
That's fine.
Make me sound good?
No, it's okay. It's very confusing. You'll never guess who our next storyteller is. Board member, timekeeper, mic adjuster. Ashley. Her answer to, she gave, of all the answers I got, I like hers the best. And the reason I really liked it is because I can't even, in this mixed audience, I can't tell you the whole thing.
Liberties.
Her advice was she convinced her college friends that they could trim their bangs with a razor to save money. And the outcome was that they all had bangs that started top of their head. So with that, would you like to be next? I'll take so. Could we have one more round of applause for all of us? That wraps it up.
Wait, no.
Oh, what?
He's got it. He's got it.
Oh, I've got the instructions.
Sorry, sir.
Don't forget who our director is.
Yeah.
I don't have to think. If I can read, I can do this. I've already asked for the other round of applause. Invite the executive director back up so he can announce the themes for the spring. Thank you, sir.
Give it up for Shorty. Yeah.